Okay, so I'm going to attempt to answer a question that I've gotten privately a couple of times since my video from last week came out where I talked about throwing in the lightweight class for Highland Games. Why? Why so skinny? Why be 200 pounds? I'm 6 feet 2 inches tall. I've been, like I said, I've been as big as 225 pounds. Why not just stay that way? Why not just try to put on some more mass? Why not just try to get bigger? Keep playing with the big boys, so to speak, in the Highland Games. Keep chasing the CrossFit goals, just be a little bigger and do it. Probably be a little stronger. And it's a really valid question. One, if we're just talking about the Highland Games part of it, I feel like no matter how much weight I try to put on in a healthy way, and that's a key thing, putting on a healthy way, I don't feel like I would be big enough and have enough body mass to play at the top level still, to get to the top of the amateurs or the top of the pros. I think if I'm sub 240 pounds, sub 250 pounds, I think I don't have the natural ability or the throwing background to get me to that level. I just think that's the case for one thing. At 200, I feel like I'm in excellent shape. I feel mobile, I feel fast, I feel explosive. I like the way I look at 200 pounds. I mean, there are some things I liked about being 225, and that's even being bigger than that is nice. Look, being bigger than other dudes is a cool thing. You're lying if you think that's not a motivation for a lot of guys. But there's another dimension for me just beyond the size and the performance issues, in that I have a genetic history, I have a family history of heart disease and diabetes. And I have to think about that. I'm not in a position anymore where I'm in my 20s and I can think about myself and my goals, my hobbies, these two sports that I'm in, that I compete in, that at the end of the day are hobbies. I can't prioritize those over my long-term health because I have people counting on me. I have people that care about me and love me, and people that need me to be in their lives. And maybe that's being a little dramatic, I understand, but I've seen what heart disease and diabetes have done to my family. And I feel like the eating habits that I have to undertake a lot of times to get past that 225 barrier where I was, are places I'm just not psychologically willing to go. I've had private conversations with other throwers, other athletes about this, and it's not something that I've ever really been comfortable up until now talking about publicly, because it just seems like a cop-out, to be perfectly honest. It seems like a cop-out. But it's the real reason that I don't want to just put on weight at all costs. I see too many guys at around my size or smaller that are just on board with the get big at all cost mentality. And I get it. I totally get it. Getting big for a strength sport, any sport, is a risk versus reward situation. If you find your niche in something, let's say it's strongman, let's say it's Highland Games, if you find your niche in those things and you realize, hey, putting on more weight could get you to the top, or could get it to where you're making some money, or you're landing sponsorships, or you could potentially be one of the best in the world, then that's probably a smarter risk for you to take. But if you're somebody who is starting from the bottom, or has been struggling for a long time to reach the intermediate level, then you're going to have probably a potentially much bigger risk you have to weigh for getting big. You might have to sacrifice some of your health to get to maybe a little above intermediate. While getting bigger, putting on size is pretty much the quickest way to gain strength when you're training consistently, it's not the only way. And I've seen some great evidence of that in the last year, in that I think within the last year I've dropped 20 pounds, and I've gotten stronger across the board. So it's totally possible. But that being said, if you're training smart, training consistent, and you're putting on weight, then you're probably going to get even stronger than if you hadn't.